We are live. Welcome. Nice to see you. Nice to connect with you. I hope you have some tea or some water or something to hydrate yourself with for our little journey tonight, our little chat. And on top of water, to have that breath. So to take some moments and just breathe. And I invite you to join me after you hydrate to find your ground and to have a seat. And close your eyes. And enjoy the breath. Enjoy the sound of the exhale as you release so you can settle into your seat. To soften and get comfy. To expand and explore your roots. To see where your feelers move as you find your ground. Find your tree. Opening your palms to receive. Opening as well to release. For both occur. Both may happen. Sit back so you can soften your shoulders. And listen to your space. Opening your ears. In the choice, in the yes, that it is time to listen. As you listen, allow some time just to soften your neck and your throat from all that you may have ingested, as well as all that may have released. As you welcome your mind, your knowing, your source, your light, your one, to step into presence, to step in, to share what we see. And on that, you can open your eyes. And see what you see. Welcome. I'm honored to sit in presence, to share a way of not telling or guiding per se, which is sometimes when we look for guidance, when we look to connect to ways of exploring what we are stuck with or what we are stuck on. Or support for the flow. When you found your legs, so to speak, and your capacity to swim. So I ask of you in this journey tonight to first share with me in the chat group what has come to you in preparation for this connection. What teachers and what healers, which are the animals, the trees, and the plants, the weather, water, fire. What came to you? And what other teachings or their healing has brought you here tonight? So I have bells in my new setup. I'm so excited. I brought lots of new playthings. So as you type in who showed up in the past like 2 to 3 days or so, because most times of presence carry about that amount of space required to prepare and come in towards being in truth and being you. So as I sound the bell, I'll share as well some of the tools that I've been guided to bring on this journey together. So may we commence. I brought obsidian and 3, which we can talk about if you're interested. Why 3? But this reminds me of, have you ever heard of the Urim and Thummim from The Alchemist? That book by Paulo Coelho. Oh, the animal guides are coming in. Excellent. So Urim and Thummim were these like 2 stones, and one was black and one was white, and one said yes and one said no, or that was the type of idea. So that when someone had a question in life, they would roll the dice and see what they received. But of course, we know that there's not just 2 answers to everything. There's 3, and that 3 reminds you that there's a lot more possibilities out there than just what may have been. So let's see, space recreate. Whew, I like your title. Animal guides who have come in preparation have been mouse, grasshopper. Oh, wow. And dark horse. I've been receiving some stuff from horse as well on this preparation. Mouse and grasshopper. I'd like to know what words come to mind if you had to summarize the experience with them within like 1 or 2 words. Jody shares dragon. Are we going to be talking about dragons today? I'm excited. Dragon water. Yes, yes. Support for my knees. Yes. Baby steps have all been healing, coming to me in the last few days. Little steps, baby steps. Child energy. Thank you for bringing that in, Jody. Space we create shares crystal ball. Ooh, yes. Yellow feather and beets. There's so much, do you see, that comes to share with you their medicine or share with you how to prepare. And I find some of the plants that we need on our journey, those friends, are like what we eat, what we nourish ourselves, because as we ingest them, we ingest their healing or their teaching. And so it will be neat to see, did you satiate the beet craving yet? And crystal ball, well, let's amplify. I'm done, ready for that. How big is this crystal ball? Yellow feather. The softness, the gentleness, the bird energy of solar plexus, sun, masculine energy. Okay. I'm getting where we're at. I love this. Patricia, welcome. There are birds at my window today, which almost propels me forward. You're by the Atlantic, which washes all away and anew. Beautiful. Birds as cleaners, right? We think of just sometimes, we forget about how the feathers happen and work with water, and how they're very helpful to brush things away. They're almost the sensation of that scrub brush, right? Is the idea of bird feathers and connection to water. Tara, hi Tara. So many beings, eagles, elephants, birds chirping right at me. Oh my gosh. Yes, birds can be very talkative when they want to wish you some wellness and some joy. Are you celebrating anything? Is there something that you need to applaud yourself with? Prairie dogs. Dog energy, unconditional love. So many teachings with that. Paco, as you know, is definitely one of my my animal friends and plant friends I'm reading. Ancestors, guides, and numbers. What numbers? Please share any number sequences that you've been receiving. Mouse energy is curious, and grasshopper, wise and playful. Bless you. Thank you for bringing that energy here. Yes. Jody, and of course, wind the last few days. Yes, if anyone has been, I'm in what is known as Toronto and just a little bit north of the city. And recently, in these past couple of days, the energy of wind has been beautiful. And they're what I've received from wind. We're getting there. Okay, I'm going to write that down. That is going on our itinerary list to discuss wind. They are talkative. Screeching hawk circling my property every day for the last week. Is there a message that has been trying to get and say hello to you? Screeching hawk circling your property. So a message from someone also that may be out of your safe zone, out of your boundary. And yes, so it feels almost, is the screeching bringing up fear, or is the screeching bringing up like irritation or annoyance? Julie, please fill me in. 555. Yes. Okay, so we're talking about 5. Anyone else have had sequences of 5 recently? 5 is the teachings of 1. What is one? One is, it's calling you. Oh, okay. One is calling you. I like that. I like what that came in right there. It's the call. It's the call itself. One is that interest. But in that interest, there is, one can also teach us no. And it teaches you no in ways that could be that I know something, right? Eureka. It could be no as in N-O. It could be knowing, the process of seeking and getting to know more knowledge, right? Which is why we think that masculine light energy is more on that type of scientific, that seeking, discovery, exploration. But it also encompasses the feminine, and the feminine of no, the feminine of one is that W, wa. Allow yourself to connect to that sound. I know not all of you might be in places where you can. But allow yourself to connect to the full energy of one. Wa. One encompasses all. Two, well, we're getting there. You're like, oh my gosh, there's five. But two is mama. Two is create tricks, I would say, right? So what's coming up is, what is your connection to the terminology that you believe is sharing with you the source of that light, the source of that light that you might come to and step closer towards. It's the light that you trust. And two is that surrender. If the knowing, that spark is there, it's creation itself. It's the actual act of creating. And the act of creating is that yes, no. Two, right? It's both. So you choose how much you're going to release and how much you're going to receive. And so that's why sometimes, Debbie, they come up as like 1212 or 212 or 222. It's sharing with you some ways of understanding this dynamic that is dual, that is duality. And then we jump to five, because we always first have to acknowledge one and two. But five has first shown up to talk about. And five is a teacher of that. It's not actually just kind of a yes and no. It's sharing with you that there's more to it, and that more to it allows you to see that there are many facets of you that need to be fed and nourished, and sometimes given light, and sometimes just giving that big hug, that feeling of comfort, that feeling of love. So five reminds you that we are many, in 1. And 5 is an asking for you to look at the different forms, the different shapes, the different facets of you, of your identity, of yourself, and do you align to them in the current connection or energy sharing between? Or what work, what thing, that's the diligence that comes in, what no may be required in order to allow more form. It teaches of boundary. And I should just have like this amazing circle picture so that you can always, I'll just be able to pick it up. The circle flashcard. Oh, that's it. That's what I'm going to design. So the circle shares with us that there is always the requirement for a boundary so that you can be more of you. And that boundary, depending on how many facets of yourself need nourishment or medicine, need healing or teaching, right, is when you reach out from that connection to self to potentially expand that that knowing and choice that is self, that is your right, that is your that you always have the capacity to do. And so water is a cleansing and releasing tool. Yes. Clean. It's time to clean. But know that it's not a cleaning that 5 teaches us. It's not a cleaning that means like 100% spotless, 100% of something. Within the whole, within the 100%, there are many, right? And so the 5 reminds you that you can choose a percentage that works for you in cleansing and releasing right now. And I have discovered an amazing little fraction or tool to share. It's been, and I think it's going to be my tagline. Okay. Because I'm sure I'm going to be saying it. And please, if some of you are with me in other circles, let me know if, how many times I might bring out this, but it is 20% shit and 80% love. That's, I find, the current collective kind of agreement of how we are, or what we are releasing at a time. 20% shit, 80% love. Releasing, sharing, giving, birthing, gifting. Or receiving. So in that little fraction, I've realized that water does play a part, because then you have to kind of choose when it's the percentage of shit becomes too much, or when when the percentage of shit becomes too much. That's what water does. It washes it away. It clears it. It cleans it. And it cleans in that cleanliness. Cleanliness is absolutely prayer. Because in the act of cleaning that shit away, be it literally in your house or be it within your body, within what you are choosing to carry right now, in your sense of and connection to self and the many facets that you have. Cleaning becomes then ritual done with prayer. Cleaning becomes the helper that's in a temple that is there to wash away the dust from all of those who come and visit its wondrous interior, as well as potentially shine the objects within. So as much as we learn from water, water shares with us that idea of fluidity. And fluidity is in water as well as in oil. So you can clean and you can begin the scrub, right, of your house, which is part of you. It's part of your bubble. It's where you can be you fully, hopefully. And if not, that's where you can start, right, to get to allowing more of you to come forth. And then when more of you steps forward, feels and connects to their surroundings, their larger bubble, then you can clear what may be excess caca and then anoint, use oil after water to allow the fluidity to continue, to allow the teachings of water to continue even when you feel you have put water away or turned water off, is to learn then how to bring that movement and nurturing and care into your temple, or you. 444. And 444, when I see that, Debbie, thank you for sharing. I see with Space We Create, the mouse came out, the curious mouse, to add to that. Because 444 is a reminder that there's extra assistance. There's angels. This usually is thought to be the angelic number, but there are beings that are helpers all around us, and they remind us of that. They remind us that there are people, energy, plants, animals, let me fix that, all living beings, however they show up to share protection, to keep you safe from harm, support when needed, that extra blanket. Yes. So 444 specifically, when there's 3 4s, that's what is shared with that number. And 1111, oh, look at that. There's even 4 ones. And so 4 ones, you're like, well, there's also the teachings of 5 in that. There's the teachings of 4. There's the teachings of so many things. And so you can look, and I know 1111 is almost thought of to be as a power number, because source has been also equated or defined as power. And I'm sharing with you a way of seeing that there's power within everyone, within every, be it 1, 2, 3, right? There's an energy, just like the elements have a power and share their teachings that move through us, and we receive from them however we choose. So 1111 also reminds us of the dance. It reminds you to it is remember. The energy of 1111 is remember, is to, and that just passed as well. So there is, it's not that you have to remember or there's anything else outside of that, right? It's just remember as a noun, as a being. Step into your memories. Allow yourself to open to more that is you, to more of all that are you, the ancestors, be it lovers, friends, siblings, children, all the different people, all the different beings in different agreements to share with you something, to share with you a part of you. So 1111 is asking you to look at how you are. I'm seeing like foundation, like the 4 becoming the sticks to make a square, to make a home. And there are homes that are circles as well. I'm just sharing the energy of making the square. We can make both. In a square home, you can make a circle of energy, and in a circular home, you do different things. You use different ways to connect to it, which aren't meant for now. But 1111, yes. Let me know if there's any questions or memories that are coming up for any of you now. Because if that energy has been brought in, there potentially is some people that you have brought in here with us and that also want to be a part of the reading. So if any of you wish to share of any ancestors that have stepped into your mind, your heart at this moment in time, please invite them to the party. That would be beautiful. For me, the ancestors that have been speaking recently have actually been my grandfather, or one of my grandfathers. And some additional ones, but I want to hear from you. And so let us see. Remember. Animal Spirit. This deck called The Wild Unknown by Kim Kranz. There's also some child energy that wants to come in. 1212 brings that up. It reminds you of the energy of creation. Love that deck. Okay, Jody, give me a blow. So wind, you think it's just outside, but wind is our way of sharing energy. So allow yourself to take a breath and share what you want to know from the animal guide. To see who's wanting to come out. So I realized this might not read it completely. You're going to read it backwards. See if you can read that out. Earthworm. Earthworm, and you'll see what element is it. Does anyone know this element? Dun, 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 dun. There's a clue. Earth. So, yes, there will be some. What comes up when you are thinking of our Earth right now? That's a big question, right? There's a lot going up in this big bubble that is our globe. So, what is the word Earth bringing up? Memories, thoughts. Did you hear? So grounding, no doubt, because we have those moments of alarm outside, right? Outside of your bubble, outside of your safety net, outside of your safe zone. There's a lot of that noise. And the moments, those sirens, those bells, those dings, they're meant to get you alert, to look there. So Earthworm is sharing what I'm receiving from Earthworm right now is, when you first look at this, it might look like there's a knot or a tie. Okay. Like, oh, I'm being all tied up. I only have a small circle of safety, a small circle that I can be me in without having to put on the armor and put on, get my tools and put my tool belt on and get ready for the elements, right? What Earth also shares. Oh, I just got a flick. Okay, so there's some energy here. Earth also shares how to ground the light that you are receiving and the light that is also you. And so you'll see that instead of it being this noose around your neck, that it's actually a light bulb. There's this way that it's moving around to be that soft, viscous protection, that ooey gooey type of womb for you, but also soft and gentle so that this can navigate and move through soil, through that deep type of connection to what nourishes you. Soil teaches us what nourishes us, but also that there is 20% shit and 80% love, or a fraction that you bet most are receiving right now. So let's see, Debbie's adding in, Jody's sinking in, and Debbie shares natural cycles, death and rebirth. Yes. Whew. Thank you. Sanctuary, unconditional love. Okay. All right. Sinking in. What does the feeling of sinking in bring up in you? Because sinking in could be something that, what are you sinking into? What is that viscous liquid that is sucking you in? What is that What is thing that is, what is, and also what is the texture of the thing that you are sinking into? Meaning, like, does it feel too compressing, or does it feel too releasing? And so, Jody, I'll add then you shared release. So you answered that question. Thank you. But also a connection. Yes, exactly. Exactly. So you release and you receive. It's the same thing that happens at the same time. It's the teaching of two. They happen simultaneously. So you can ground, yes, you can, but grounding, the earth teaches you, there is this kind of sinking into the soil, to the thing that is around you, and still allowing yourself to navigate your rhythm so you can find a space, as Tara shares, a sanctuary where you can grow. And I'm going to add, because there was shared unconditional love, I'm going to share where you can grow into all that is you. And all that is you encompasses some love. Absolutely. Absolutely. But also some conditions. Some conditions of what it requires for you to flower, for you to plants teach us so much. And I've been loving reading this book, and I'll share it below, which is The Secret Life of Plants. It's a very old book, and it's totally scientific, but also kind of fun and out there. But one of the things that is shared within that book that comes to mind now is how plants communicate with their environment. And so they will share what they need to nourish them, hydrate them, so as well as how much sun is required, right? They give their conditions in order for them to grow. And when they grow, right, there's a part of the plant that is not the flower, right? It might be the trunk, the root, the thing that needs to be a bit more resilient, has been the term. And instead of thinking of just, think of resilience almost as something that allows you to have that skin of the earthworm, right? That resilience to its surroundings. And it also will learn how to do things, secrete certain either nectars to attract the things that will allow it to grow, right? The pollinators, the bees, or the plant will share by seeping out some certain types of poisons, scents, deterrents, a way of keeping away their predators, or keeping away the things that would consume them completely. So there's some teachings and some medicine and some healing. Wow. Thank you, Earthworm. Thank you. Anything else come up? Any other questions come up from Earthworm? Ooh, churning and changing. Yes. Thank you. Churning. Think of that churning. It can feel sometimes like a rumbling in the belly. It's a different sensation, churning. When you feel churning, there's like a mixing involved, churning the butter. You're also an alchemist. You're creating or turning something from one thing to another. And so this also shares then the teachings of the container, and that all alchemists require containers, right? Alchemists, they use those glass vials and the pots and all the things bubbling if you've ever seen an alchemist lab, right? So they all have certain containers that either carry medicine, other gifts, other parts of you. So in the earthworm, I'm just receiving from them, like the energy of that churning is also understanding that even within what you might see is circular or a rope or a tube, you know what I mean? You're like, oh, this is like this form, right? Earthworms understand that they can pulse and move in much more of a fluid manner, so that they're not continuously having to like change massive direction, going, oh, here's unless it's a big rock. But if it's not a big, massive rock, that you are able then to better navigate all that is on this planet right now, all that is on this earth. So we can learn to churn and be part of the process of change. The changing, churning and changing, churning and changing. Beautiful. Processing what is dead or dying into nourishment. Oh my goodness, we were all meant to connect tonight. Thank you, thank you. I am always so honored to see who receives the call. That's a big statement, big teaching, and lots of good stuff with that. Processing what is dead or dying into nourishment. What has died? What have you had to not say no to? Even it's not a yes, no. Death is that. Well, if we look at it in 1-2, it's not life. If we look at it as 1, 2, 3, what is it? What then does the process of death become? It becomes part of that larger circle. Natural cycles. Debbie spoke of that, right? The natural cycles. So as we come to term with life and rebirth as parts of the cycle, right? Rebirth is that release. Life, we know it's that, right? That reception, that love. But more than love, since love's in the equation as part of the thing with shit. We can't forget the shit. So back to dead, back to dying, because it's a very big teaching, and we have been shared this teaching as a collective and as a whole this year massively. And I'm feeling there is another card for connecting to death. The teachings of death. I'm going to go to the Divine Guidance deck by Cheryl Lee Harnish. So this death, life, rebirth cycle that's coming up, and how we can process all of these into nourishment, because we understand the rebirth. The rebirth comes as nourishment because you know that as soon as you expel something, be it that 20% is shit or refuse to you, right? That you think that shit, it might be the nourishment that's required for a greater being. the earth or something else that requires that shit at that time. And that 80% love that we expel, that we rebirth, is what you choose to create. It could be a child, literally, or a part of you. Paco's asking me to get back on point. So, death. Take a moment and feel within your breath. That space that comes after the exhale. After that release, after that birth, rebirth, however you want to think of it. The R word. And then what is that space between? What do you receive from that space? Death is sharing with us a very big teaching this year. And I thank you for sitting with me, because it's a big energy to receive. It is an energy that I understand now why wind came in. Because wind is that clearing of air. And air is life. It's you blowing away the ash from what must have occurred within the rebirth. In the rebirth, there's those teachings of water, fire. What did you have to burn? What did you have to release? What did you have to clean? What did you have to move with? What did you have to ignite? And so death in this cycle right now, I'm not saying this is for all and ever, for this cycle, this new moon, they are bringing that death is a clearing so that you can see what you are needing to gather. Think of after the wind comes and blows everything around, and everybody's locked up in their houses going, okay, we'll wait till the dust settles. So as the dust settles, right? As there's the calm, after the release, wind has come in to share that you clear it. You clear the air so that you can see what's still stuck. And then you see what is stuck, and you either choose to gather it and put it into your container, to digest it, for it to still support you in some way. Or you collect it and you use it as a reminder, if needed, of what was cleared away, of what was the intention? What was the energy behind the initial force? So death, coming up now. Up comes 4 and 2. So we've shared some of the teachings already of 4 and 2, which could also be as another version of some of the other numbers, actually, other codes. Who do you see? What do you see? From afar? From the right? From the left? There's so many different ways to see something. And so the teachings of death, life, rebirth is our cycle. And so this year is asking us to embrace it as a part of us, as a part of the experience. That is being you. And then there are some times when those things that might have been stuck, after you clear away and you find that 20% shit and you see part of that 20%, you gather and you ingest and that the essence or the of the medicine and the teachings of that being, whatever it is that you gathered, is what nourishes, which is what medicine space we create is sharing. Processing what is dead or dying into nourishment. It's a part of it. And then the other part, though, is we never consume all. We don't consume the whole. We consume a part of it, what has been agreed upon, what you consent to. And then you choose the other shit that you gathered, that you cleaned up. After the rebirth, after the release. Some of those other things actually are objects that are meant to then be shared. And those are the ones that you let go to be absorbed by the greater good, to be nourished or received or ingested by the greater good, what's outside of you. And so you share that either by giving it back to the earth, that's outside of you, or to someone, or to all, or to a group. There's so many ways that you can then share some of that shit. And your sharing of it shifts the fraction because it's always part, a little bit of shit and a lot of love that you choose to actually release. Does that make sense? Questions on what I'm sharing? And I feel I can answer some questions that this conversation has brought up, and then that might be coming to a close. Breathe life into the soil. Yes, yes, they do. Julie, thank you. Just realizing that as you sharing of you is that. Sharing of your truth, who all those many facets of you that you choose to carry, that is breathing life into the soil. So that you can take those seeds that you've been carrying and trust that the seeds that you're carrying might still have some incubation time. You don't have to put them all into the ground at once. Grounding is a process, just like gardening, walking, all the things we do on ground. Any other questions? Received this lovely light being too. It's neat because a lot of times when I've seen this card in the past, I've seen different things. And that's the fun thing, is that perspective shifts. It's not that you have to let go or like take out an eye, take out what you've seen in the past. It's that you can have all those different ways of seeing your current, your present, and just honor which ones, which previous knowings, which previous moments of receiving light, connecting to light. I'm just seeing like a big, beautiful, well, you see it here. It's like this big, gorgeous ring of light. I'm seeing now so many loops, circles, flows, moving and connecting in these cards. Yes, Jody. Yes. Connecting. Thank you. Loops, circles, flows. Connecting. This is the second time the word connect came up. Connect is that link, right? Connecting the dots we think of. Could be something that is weaving different people together, right? That flow. It's creating different forms with this, knowing that even though you have captured and see this worm here in this form now, you know that it can move and make many different ways of expressing itself. So I'm guided to share take a good look at how your space, be it within yourself, your body, your home, or what's outside of the home, your city, neighborhood. Have a good look at what you need to best navigate, how you can breathe life into the soil, incubate and carry safely your seeds. And choose wisely. There's an animal that's like, me, 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 me. Which animal is that? Grasshopper. Choose wisely how you move through all of that. How you move. So the wisdom that has brought us to this point, the wisdom that you carry, is asking you to almost trust that you are a solid enough container to keep it safe while you can still interact with what you choose to interact with, and whatever bubbles, circles, areas of center, areas of centered agreement. As this is an area of center, right? We agreed to meet here for what I shared were the words of this session, right? Of this collective connection, this moment that through conversation, through communication, in our truth, in our experience, in our child, our playfulness, in the third, and what we can create. This is the time for you to create. That is the teachings of within, of the life, death, rebirth cycle, is that this is a process. You can create it. You can also be a part of it, be fluid within it, experience it. And you can also see what new facet of self comes through the birth canal. So, any other questions or messages that are coming up? Any animals, trees, herbs, beings? And I will check in on the energy of the cards to see if there is any last thing. I give gratitude to some of the people that I get to sit in presence with my work, for this presence practice of sitting and being. That's it, right? Being all that you are, all that I am. With the choices that you make and with who you choose to create or make these moments of presence and being with, can allow you to realize, I'm getting the big, I got your back. I got your back. We are, and I know this has been replayed with so many hashtags that it's almost lost the essence of the saying of we are in this together. But when we sometimes think of back can be, if people have your back, I got your back, that there's almost like that there needs to then be like this fortification of the back. No. I got your back Our back is not a solid board. Our back is this incredible part of our body, part of our being that actually carries the spine, that carries the current, right? Your current, your energy, your capacity to do, move, be, and live, and do this process of life, death, rebirth. So I'm receiving that there's also that the people that are supporting you, look at it. Are they supporting, and does it feel forceful? Or is it supporting and you can feel the warmth of their touch and their connection to that back? So your back can then actually move and express and enjoy the journey, the playfulness of this whole thing. Enjoy the capacity to move between releasing and receiving, life and death, yes and no. So that came from this back, I see. And how it may look right now that you might be feeling like you're hanging upside down, that things are shaking out of you. And honor that even that shake, rattle and roll that is occurring is still doing the same thing. It's releasing both shit and love. And it will allow you then to nourish, to cleanse, to clear your connection to the teachings of your spine, of your capacity to align, of your capacity to connect, to find either your root, to find your ground. So burrow, sink in, explore what this expelling and shaking and releasing and clearing and intense amount of death, right? Do any clearing that's required. That's always a part. So you can see more of what you are guided to churn and to create and to change in your sight and in your ears, what you listen to. So there are no more questions. I feel like having a walnut, having a munch. Nourishment. May your communications, this cycle moving forwards, may your communications nourish you. And if they do not, may you find your root. May you find your sanctuary, your safe space, so that you can stand your ground. And create your work, your project, your love, your art, your prayer, your family, your community. It's time to create it. It's time to do the shake, do the rattle, or do the roll. Connect to the earth and ask her what's next. And on that note, if anything needs to be said, say it. This is your time. Any last words that you wish to add into this beautiful connection, this receipt that I see, this live chat? I will share the comments from now on with these lives so that you can receive the full experience, which is not just my face, not just me, but also you, and also the ancestors and the trees and the animals and the plants and all of those wonderful living beings that have assisted us and prepared us for this session together, for this connection, that have come into our field to help us better navigate. So may these sounds, may this breath, and may this hydration that I have shared with you this evening be received as my offering to you. And you can take what you wish to ingest and carry that with you. And you can choose to leave the rest for someone else to gather that needs it. From my heart, from the diamond that is me to the diamond that is you. I thank you for sharing these words in this time and your space and you. Thank you. Take care.